Okay, so I'm now here with Adam and Dan from Internal Conflict. I hope you guys are doing fine. How are you?
Right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Keeping busy during this time of lockdown?
Massively. We've been lucky to be able to sort of work remotely and have stuff that we can all work on to put together. Still keep the band rolling, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, you guys are from Internal Conflict, obviously. That is who the interview is about. So, tell the listeners that haven't heard about Internal Conflict, who are you and what the music you create? Tell us about it.
Oh, for me, we are a metalcore band from Leicester in the Midlands.
Kind of metalcore.
Hardcore, maybe.
We've got a little bit of progressive in there now, I guess, whatever that means these days.
A little bit of prog.
Well, yeah, people who've followed the band for a while will remember early stuff where it was very sort of, I'd say, hot, old school metalcore, where it is very heavy, intense all the way through. But like these days, we've started adding loads of bows, strings to our bow and melody, and it's just a lot of chops and changes and sort of different things. Zeros and ones and even twos.
Really? Hope it's not number twos.
Well,
with the band's obviously kind of, because your new album is coming out very soon. How has it been like? Obviously, getting together, writing the album, and recording it during COVID, really.
Thankfully, we'd got a lot of the album written before COVID hit. We had been putting together a lot of riffs and songs. When Bentley joined the band, Ricey was throwing out loads of riffs and giving them to Matt and Bentley, who would essentially lock themselves in a green haze and put it all together.
Recording process just started right before COVID hit. I think the first guitar session might have been in February.
Yeah.
So
there was already, the ball was rolling when COVID hit. So, thankfully we'd had a starting point, haven't we?
So you already had kind of like a wall to kind of, almost like a platform to stand on to get everything together and almost finalise it.
Yeah,
and because it was all DIY, Bentley did the drums by himself in the practice room.
Yeah,
recording himself,
editing and doing all that on the computer, spending hours putting together, with the quantizing and
so we could do that during actual lockdown.
Yeah,
and then when the rules started to relax a bit is when me and Matt could go around to Rice's and finish the guitars and bass.
Yeah, so very, very sort of
kind of worked out well.
Yeah,
gave us more time to actually nail it as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of blessing in disguise in a way. Obviously COVID's fucking awful, and nobody wanted it, and would ever look positively on it. But we were able to make the most of a bad situation where, like Dan said, Bentley was able to spend a load of time with his kit, nailing it down, and then Matt and him arranging stuff with Ricer, and then as sanctions were being lifted briefly in that middle part of the year, quick get in, record. Ricey put down most of the guitars, and and then again when things eased off a little bit, me and Matt were able to go into a studio over a weekend and record the vocals, which with Neil Hudson of Chrysler in his studio, Initiate Studios. So it was one of those ones where we had a lot of time to be able to sort of plan the music, finalise it, hone in, work on every little aspect of it.
I had a lot more time to get more of a feel for the songs as well, because the album was already written before I rejoined.
So that's really good then. Obviously with the new album, it's called, is it Aporia?
Aporia.
I didn't know how to say it. I was going to go now. I've been saying it for like the past hour going, is it said like this or is it said like this? As you said, it's called Aporia. What should the fans and people that are kind of just getting into internal conflicts expect from this album?
More of everything. So, if you listen to The Rising Tide, which is the first album with me, and then you listen to Nothing Is Lost, and then you can hear sort of the progression, and then the next progression onward from there is just more of everything. Like, I've tried to put more range into my vocals, more places, sort of different styles and, voices and sounds. And Matt has really expanded his vocal range, so we've got a lot of sort of big, clean choruses now.
Got like a few songs, or got like one song which would fit quite well on like Rising Tide, and then another song that would fit well on the EP, and I would say even a song that would fit like back in the day, like the unreleased EP that the other guys did. But then you've got like the rest of the songs which kind of brings something new as well.
Yeah. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, a couple of people that have heard a couple more of the songs have come back very surprised, like a little bit like, oh, holy shit, you guys wrote this. This is you. And then, like, and in a good way, you know what I mean? It's that kind of, like, I think, for people who've been listening to us for a while, they're going to be quite surprised.
I mean, you've got the familiarities with the older stuff, while kind of like bringing you out of that into the newer stuff.
Yeah, because you don't want to sit still. And I think that was, I don't know whether it really was a conscious thing. It was just a sort of a case of just like, we just want to get in and write. And it was all, we just, because there's so many different versions of these songs that we've rewrote, gone in, listened to it, and then a new idea, and that's from all of us. So like the early versions of them are just unrecognisable to what we've got now.
Well, it's all about evolving, isn't it? It's all about like building the tune, listening to it, going right, this doesn't work, going back to it, and
Yeah, and even like when we're getting really deep into the writing process, like me and Matt would go in and demo, like the two of us, and then we were like, right, we've got to come up with a better chorus. So the both of us would get in there, and I think that's another thing as well, because Matt, I'd write the core of the lyrics, and then like I'd get stuff off. Ricey had sent some stuff in, but like Matt took a real interest and has put in a lot of vocals, and the choruses in particular. Like he's helped shape and craft, and a lot of the time we were doing that in the room, like me and him, just like jamming ideas, and going from, we went in with one chorus, but we came out with like another one. Then a week later, we'd have another one, and like it's all the better for it.
Have you got a favourite song off the new album that you're looking forward to performing live and kind of showcasing to the fans?
Anesthesia is my favourite. That's why I just love playing that little.
Yeah, that's we've been jamming. I'm enjoying Kingdom of Apathy. It's the album opener, and like it's funny because like about halfway through, the sort of the middle third of the song just absolutely kicks the fuck out of you, and like playing it. Even now, like we're not 100% like got it nailed down, but it's just intense, big time. And then Paresthesia is just and it's got everything. It's got a little bit of everything. It's mad. It's just two completely crazy songs to start with. So it's it's good. It's a workout in the practice room so far. I've only jammed it like twice, the couple of us, but you feel like you've been beaten up after a session.
Well, with news kind of from the past 2 weeks, you guys have got a pretty big stage to kind of showcase these on, because you guys have been announced for Bloodstock on the Sophie stage, which is quite a big stage from what I can remember, from when music festivals used to exist years ago.
Yeah, it's my biggest stage, I think you said.
It is it, yeah. I mean, I've been lucky enough to play Bloodstock a couple of times now, and I've done the Sophie stage. And when you're watching bands, watching them on that stage, I don't think you get quite the idea of how big it is, because like the stage itself's massive, but when you're looking out, it's fucking huge. It's
completely different, isn't it? It's just, especially if you've got that feeling from the crowd, it makes the venue you could have like the smallest stage in the world, but if you've got a good kind of feeling from the crowd,
that's it.
It could feel like an arena gig.
Exactly. I mean, what is it? It's got to be about 5,000 in there plus. You know, it's fucking massive.
Quite a lot. And if it's raining as well, which usually it is, you'll get a hell of a lot more in there as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, one thing I always like. I mean, we're playing on the Sunday, so one thing I like doing on the Sunday is pitching up a seat, and usually in the Sophie stage, and just chilling. Yeah. Like, you know, that's what I tend to do on the Sunday. So, like, you know, hopefully, you know, Bloodstock is one of those festivals where you find most people tend to go just for the crack. They'll just go, regardless of who's playing. And you don't sleep at festivals, do you? So everyone's going to be up. So, like, we're going to have, there's always going to be people milling about, and hopefully, you know, we get a good crowd.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be good.
It's all about networking at the end of the day. I mean, are there any bands there that you're going to kind of try and network with?
Anyone and everyone, really. It's all about making friends and influencing people, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we get, like, because we're in the artist area, so it's don't get completely shit-faced from the word go, and don't be a dick. It's the best advice I think anyone could ever give, isn't it? You know, so, like, it is, you know, we know plenty of people from the scene, and we know we've got friends who we can speak to, and, you know, from there, just try and meet people and, you know, make new friends, and, you know, hopefully network, and, so, you know, just try to do that whilst just taking in the experience.
So, with Internal Conflict, I know obviously you are playing at Bloodstock, so you are going to be playing with a lot of kind of really big name bands. But is there a band which you guys would love to open with in the future? Any kind of band?
Yeah, Better Tomorrow, good shout.
Yeah. I think mine with them as well.
Yeah, British band, who are fantastic. We're on that. I mean, I like to play with Silosis. You know,
Matt would like to
Bleed From Within. They're good lads. Well, I say good lads. They're a good band. I've never met them.
Hey, one day, you know.
Well, we're playing on the same day.
Same day.
Well,
so,
yeah.
You know,
just kind of run up to them, throw a CD out, and going, please let us play with you.
Yeah.
Which sounded a bit weird than what it was meant to.
Well, try not to do that, but sometimes when you get excited, and I like to play with. I'm really excited to watch Ginger, because I haven't seen them yet, and I've been listening to them, and they're good.
I am very much the same there. The one band which has been on my hit list to kind of check out, and
yeah. Because didn't they cancel the other year, last minute or something? I can't remember.
Quite a few festivals the other year.
Yeah.
It was like Visa Problems.
Yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't mind playing with the other Ginger from the Wild Hearts.
Yeah. It'd be nice to meet him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's playing as well on the Friday, so, you know, being an artist, you could probably get you backstage and go and meet him, and
sidle up to him one day, like, you know, these have the conversations, slide in and do the old thing where you walk in and start laughing at a joke. Yeah.
It's kind of join the group.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, you guys have played quite a few gigs, and Internal Conflict is a band that they've been together, and I know with you, Adam, you've been in a lot of other bands. One band we will not mention that we were talking about previously. But over the years, I mean, what's the best advice you guys have been given as unsigned artists?
That we've been given?
Yeah.
It's like you said, don't be a dick. Try, like, I don't know, like, it's more, just try and be, you know, just try and be helpful and don't be dicks, and, you know, and I think that's the only thing you can say to people. But, like, maybe recently someone said to me, like, we were just talking about it a minute ago, it's about, you've got to take advantage of your socials, and you've got to make sure that you can network and, like, kick down doors by speaking to people and just taking that chance to, like, because, like, you see some great bands who don't do anything to promote themselves, and so, like, you've got amazing bands who just don't get listened to, and it's hard because, as much as, like, you know, we do loads of shouting on your social medias and all that stuff, but and it's still hard to get people to pay attention to you, because it's one of those things. You just got to keep doing it. And what I would say to people is just don't be disheartened if after 3 years of being in a band, you're not hitting the main stage because, you know, there's 1,000 bands all trying to do it, and it's hard work. And you'll go play in a venue to 2 people, but those 2 people might buy a T-shirt, so it makes it all worth it.
Well, that's it. Those 2 people, as I said, might buy a T-shirt. Then those 2 people see their friends and they'll go, you know what, I saw this awesome band last night called Internal Conflict. And, you know, your next gig, it's all word of mouth, and especially as I said with social media, it's not all about that these days, is it? It is a lot about word of mouth and just kind of getting into people's social circles without you actually having to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All I'd say to anyone, is, I've been doing it a while now, I'm not afraid to say, is if you're doing it to make money and to be famous, you're probably going to have a bad time. Just do it because you want to do it and it's have fun. Just do it for the fun.
I'll always leave the party until after the shows.
Yeah. Now, in my old band...
Is this the one we shall not mention?
Yeah. We'll let people guess. No, but it's one of those things like back in the day, it was a lot of fun. You go out getting smashed all the time and that was part of the fun. But, you know, doing it this time around and with this, it's like, go on, put a good show, make people happy, and then you get your beer. Unless you're me who's driving. So then you have your 1 pint and your non-alcoholic drinks and be a good lad.
that is pretty sound advice. So what's next for Internal Conflict? What do you want to be doing, say 2 years from now?
Working on third album, gigging, playing gigs. Just still doing it. You know, I'd like to think where our music will be in that time, what we could be doing.
I want to be in a position where we are opening for other bands. That's a personal bucket list thing for me. Like to play with a load of bands that I just generally fucking love.
Yeah. You see a lot of the bands that are playing, like, you know, you look at the Sophie stage and you look at the main stage at Bloodstock, and there's loads of bands on there that, like, say the main stage, you see bands on the main stage that were playing Sophie not long ago, and then not long before that, they were on the New Blood stage, and it's just trying to grow while still loving it.
I think probably one of the best examples of that's Evil Scarecrow.
Yeah, and I was thinking of Conjurer as well.
Yeah.
You know, they've done the 3 stages now. And it's so you can see there's a progression there with a lot of bands, and I think it's that's what you want to be doing. You always want to feel like you're doing something good.
Awesome. But anyway, guys, that is probably all I can really ask you tonight. Is there any kind of parting words which you want to kind of leave the listeners with?
Buy our album when it comes out. Buy our t-shirts. Support the local scene. I'd like to think that after COVID that people will actually go out and see the bands. You know, the hardcore, you know, underground gig goers, you know, that, you know, they're going to be all back out in force. And, you know, it'd be nice to see people who don't usually, you know, they're usually a little bit more afraid to spend a £5 on 4 bands they've never heard of. You'd hope that maybe they'll take a chance, because, you know, with
listen to the song, the new single.
Listen to the new single.
Well, I'm about to play the new single now, so as I said, thank you very much for joining me for this interview tonight. If you've never heard of Internal Conflict before, I recommend you go over to their Facebook, check them out, check out the videos on YouTube. I think you're on Spotify as well, aren't you?
Yeah, all the usual socials. We've got a website, internalconflictband.com, and all the links are there for everything. So yeah, you know, listen to Bleed the Sky pretty soon. Listen to Aporia, our new album, and yeah, enjoy.
Awesome. And talking to Bleed the Sky, I'm going to play that right now for you. This is Internal Conflict with Bleed the Sky.
Fuck yeah.